Hi everyone, VHS Let's here, and today I'm going to show you one new plugin that I just get from BitSkills, which is called RetroVOLT. This plugin RetroVOLT is a pretty powerful virtual instrument that will let you recreate sounds that you usually heard from analog synthesizers. As you can see right here on the interface, this plugin right here has nothing to do with the KZ Dark. The KZ Dark was a virtual instrument with presets that you cannot modify or modulate on any form instead of a couple of effects and of course a cutoff knob that will let you kind of like EQ the sound. In this case right here we have a two voices synthesizer that we can pretty much modulate the way we want to. We got a couple of filters for each voice, and we got a couple of envelopes for each voice as well. You also have a lot of sounds right here. You have 3 banks with different categories on each of them. Bass, brass, famous, which are synthesizer sounds that you might heard before on soundtrack movies from the 80s and 90s, and also popular songs, effects, hits, keys, leads, pads, pretty much everything that you need to create a full composition. I'm not gonna show you all of the sounds this time because I don't want to waste a lot of time into making like a full preview of sounds, even though I made a selection, as you can see right here with the start of my favorite sounds in this plugin. But what I'm going to do is just pretty much go straight to composition, and I'm going to create a song, or at least the main structure of a song, by using only presets that you can find in this particular plugin. I'm gonna explain you real quick what else you have right here. You have an Arpeggiator right here that you can change and switch as well and tweak as well. You have velocity, note lengths, pitch offsets, pretty much classic stuff that you can find on every single Arpeggiator. Steps, tempo, swing, octave, increment, direction, which is up, down, down, up, and up, down. And then on settings, you get pre-recorded or pre-made arpeggiators for some of the sounds on the libraries, but you can also create your own and then save it on any of these 20 settings that you got right here. And finally you got the effects. As you can see right here, this is the sound that I got selected, which is Juno Brass number 1. It has a lot of delay, it has some chorus as well. It's basically a representation or interpretation, or whatever you want to call it, of the Juno brass, one of the Juno brasses that you get on the original synthesizer. And as you can see right here, you can set some effects like EQ, compression, shape, legato, limiter, saturation, reverb, delay, chorus, and phaser as well. On this particular song right here, this sound has saturation, reverb, and delay and chorus. And in case you think that it has a lot of delay, you can just turn down the mix and it will decrease. Same with the rest of the effects right here. Once again, this is a complete different experience compared with the KZ Dark that I've reviewed probably like a couple of years ago. This is a complete different thing. This is a more complete machine that will let you do way more than all the stuff that you can do with the KZ Dark. It's a complete different thing. It's not like the KZ Dark is a worse plugin compared with this one. It's just a complete different thing. The other one was just a plugin that you use to create or record melodies or full compositions with the presets that it has. But this right here is way deeper than that. Okay, so these 4 steps right here, 4 steps as well. I'm gonna delete these things right here, and 2 steps for the hat. Let me see if that one. Okay, that's good enough. let's see. Wait a second. Yeah, so pretty much, let me see. No, that's the right place. Okay. So you can see a pretty simple loop. I'm not gonna like put a lot of time into it. And let's continue with the instruments. Okay, so after a couple of seconds, I just had the first sound to start the composition, which is called the alpha bass. The alpha bass is a pretty cool bass that you can find on the bank A, on the bass category, the bass category, and as you can see right here, I got it marked as favorite because the sound of it is pretty cool. It's a pretty solid sound. So I'm gonna record a bass line real quick with it. Okay, let's say like no, something like this. Yeah, something like that might work. Okay, so let's record. Okay, perfect. So we got this. So you can see it's a pretty solid bass preset that you can just click on it and start recording, which is something that I really love about Beat-Scales plugins. Okay, let's continue with another one. Okay, so for the next sound, we're going to use the bass CS01, which is probably one of my favorite sounds on all the libraries, and you're gonna see why I love it that much. The texture in it is just amazing, and I've personally felt like it is pretty good. It feels pretty close to an analog synth. So let's see what we got with this. Okay, something like that. Alright, let's record this real quick. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is what we got right here. As you can see, I just made a bass line, and then I added a little bit of more depth to the bass by adding this last bass that we just recorded, and it also adds a bit of texture to it that makes it sound way more legit. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to use a brass sound, which is included on the back C and brass category. The name of this brass is brass number 1. As you can see, we also got brass number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There's a lot of different sounds in this plugin that I but definitely recommend you to give it a check if you purchase this VST. So let's go straight to it and see what we got. Okay. So we can go on. Yeah, something like that. I really like this sound as well, so let's record this real quick. Right before recording, these sounds that I'm using are just presets. I'm showing you presets because that's what I like about this certain type of virtual instruments, that you don't need to spend a lot of time into creating your own sounds if you don't have the time to invest into it, and you can just go straight to the sound that you need or want and record the melodies that you had on mind, as I'm doing right now. Okay, and this is what we get. Okay, next sound real quick. I don't know, I don't want to make this video too long because I just want to show you in the less amount of time how much you can do with this plugin right here. So we got another one right here. Let me check for another sound and I will get back to you guys. Okay, so for the next one, I decided to choose a sound that I personally really like a lot. This is probably one of my favorites as well, like one of my top 5 presets on the plugin. This one is the Juno Brass. You might know the Juno synthesizer. So this is basically a virtual translation of one of the brass sounds that you can find on the analog Juno, and it sounds like this. This is absolutely amazing. You can go to effects if you feel like it has a lot of delay, but I personally like how it sounds right now, and I think it fits perfectly with the composition. So yeah, I'm gonna record something like that. Okay, so let's go. Okay, and we got it ready. Okay, this sound right here really adds a lot of personality to the song. I definitely love this one right here, the Juno Brass, and the which was the other one, the Bassist 01. Both of them are definitely amazing in my opinion. And I think I'm gonna add one more layer. Okay, so for this one right here, what I'm going to do is pretty much kind of like tweak one of the presets that are included on the plugin. This plugin right here, the string lead, is a sound that I like. But it has something that sounds like extremely high that I don't like. And it is this right here, this voice right here, the real strings, kind of kills the vibe of the arpeggiator that is on the second voice. If I mute this, as you can see, this sound right here, the arpeggiator, is not as crazy as it used to sound at the very beginning, because the problem was the real strings that sound like this. You know, it is a sound that I don't like to have in this specific lead. So what I'm going to do is add a synthesizer sound. I think maybe not. We will see maybe a brass sound, or I'm gonna try just a couple of things here and there until I find something that I like for the first voice. I'm gonna try with the Juno. It sounds way better, way better. So right now that we just tweak a little bit this sound right here, what we do is we go to the library right here, and as you can see right here, we can add a new sound. We're gonna call this lead, and the preset will be save. We can click right here if we want, but the lead is absolutely safe as soon as we click on add. Now I'm gonna mark it as favorite, so I can remember that that is the one that I create myself by tweaking the string lead. And right now I'm going to see if I can, let me see. A little bit less of saturation, just a little bit more of reverb. I think the same delay is cool. Just a little bit more, about a 20% or something. Just turn down the highs on the EQ, because they were like something like that, about 5 dBs, which is too much in my opinion. I'm gonna leave it around 2. Yeah, that will be pretty much it. We got the sound ready. Also, if we want to have legato on this sound right here, we can add it by clicking this little square right here, and switching or adapting or two knobs in order to get the effect that we want to. You know, because some people like to have legato on every single lead that they create, so it's not the case on this one right here, because I'm not gonna be soloing. I'm just gonna create a main melody for the hook with it. So let's go to record. Alright, I think I got it. I have been testing the melody before recording it, because I was trying to achieve the exact sound that I wanted. So I got the melody ready, and I kind of liked it. That's why I decided to do not, let me quantize this real quick, to do not add legato to the sound, because I didn't want it to solo. I wanted to create a melody, as I mentioned before. Wait a minute. Okay, there we are. Okay, so this is what we got so far. Nice. So I'm gonna clean a couple of things. I'm gonna EQ some of the sounds, and I'm going to start working on the structure. And right after I finish everything, I will explain what I basically did, and we will listen to the final composition. Okay, so here we are again. I'm gonna explain real quick what I did. Pretty much what I created was a pretty simple structure on the song. We are going to start with the CS01 bass and the main melody. Then I just added the simple or basic drum loop. This right here. Then we got a cut right here, so we kind of like make a difference, and the bass sound start right here. So we got bass, black bass with the CS01 and the main melody. Then we're going to do basically the same thing right here. We're gonna cut the drums, and as you can see, the Juno brass melody starts right here. Then we're gonna have a bigger cut right here on the drum loops. Of course, I think I'm gonna add just a couple of effects right here to make the transition a little bit smoother. But this is just the main structure, so this is not gonna be a final product, of course. So yeah, there's gonna be a huge gap right here, right before the transition between the last part of the phrase and the beginning of the hook. On the hook right here, what I did was just make a faster loop, if you want to call it like that. I just doubled the hi-hats. Nothing crazy, with a little bit of pan and variations on the velocity of the hi-hats. And then I also modified the bass line, which was like this, and I was like that. I also added a little bit of sidechain, so it fits better with the loop. And then we got the CS1 bass and the main melody, and also the last melody that we created with the custom lead that we made by switching just a little bit one of the presets on the virtual plugin. So let's hear the whole thing real quick, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna have a little chat right before listening to this, before we end the video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As I mentioned before, we basically need a little bit more of details here and there, like you know, some stuff that could make the transitions a bit softer. But as you can see right here, just in a few minutes, I was able to compose and create a composition, a pretty decent composition with a lot of retro vibes. It's definitely a powerful virtual instrument, and the price is not too high. Once again, I want to thank Beat Skills for trusting on me once again by giving me a free copy of this virtual instrument, to give it a check and just to test it and show you guys how powerful it is. And I definitely recommend you to give it a check to this one right here and some other plugins that they have on the shop. They are pretty focused into retro simulations of synthesizers. So if you are looking for some virtual instruments to compose your own synthwave, retro wave, dark wave, whatever you want to call it, compositions, you can give it a check. I definitely recommend you to give it a check. The link will be in the description. And yep, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you like this one, and I'll see you guys soon.